Both my partner and I are employed. When we first started dating, he was earning more than me. It didn't seem like money was an issue since we used to go on dates regularly. He invites me to go out on country trips, and we see each other all the time. By the way, this comes from Gummy Worm Eater, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. After some time, we decided to move in together. He moved to be in my city. Admittedly, the cost of living in my city is more expensive than his previous city. However, as his job was more flexible than mine, we decided that staying in my city made more sense. Initially, everything seems to be in order. Bills were getting paid. We went on holidays still, but we slowed down on having dates outside and traded those cozy nights in, which I didn't mind. He started doing work from home more, 4 times a week. I run a pretty tight ship with my finances. I have regular saving payments and have money set aside for my fun plan. In contrast, I noticed that he was quite bad at budgeting. He wouldn't know how much was spent for the month on groceries, and he'd get surprised that he doesn't have enough money for his expenses. I offered to help him budget several times, but he refused, citing reasons like he forgot to do his expenses at work, or he needs to update our bill tracking app, etc. At some point, I got a pay raise. This meant I now earn 5 to 10K more than him annually. Monthly, there was an increase there, but not a super big one for me to feel really comfortable to splurge. Our biggest expense, rent, comes out from my account. On at least 2 or 3 occasions, he would tell me he doesn't have enough money for rent, when rent would be due in less than 3 days. I would then have to dip into my savings. I'll put it into our bill tracking app and he'll just owe me. That extended to whenever he doesn't have any money for grocery bills, his fuel expenses, train tickets, phone tariffs, etc. He's needing my help a lot for those smaller expenses. He used to pay me back in full as soon as he got paid, but recently it feels like I have to chase him to pay me even just part of what he owes me. I feel like he's taking advantage that I have good savings and that I'm not charging interest. He owes me a not very small amount. I have refused to help him before so he can get help from his parents instead. However, his ego stops him from letting his parents know, and I wasn't going to let him starve or miss work or not pay rent. I feel trapped a bit here since our financial commitments are shared when it comes to bills and rent. I am starting to resent that I feel like I have to swoop in and save him from financial burden. The worst part was when he asked me to go on a holiday. When I asked him if he'd be able to afford it, he assured me that he got money for Christmas. On the day of our departure, while we were at the airport, he tells me he has no money and that he has spent the Christmas money he received all on rent and housing expenses. I would literally say I had to shoulder the costs of the full 2-week holiday for 2 people. No notice or preparation at all. I think you need to I was ambushed. After that holiday, I sat him down and demanded that he finally tell me what his financial problems are and in detail. He finally said that he has a debt and his credit card is near maxed out. He tells me his credit limit and it's quite high. When I asked him how he's nearly maxed it out, he said that over the years, he just charged all holidays, car payments, date expenses, drinks with friends, etc. on his credit card and never trying to pay a portion of it off regularly, but with the interest and his car payments, he ends up relying on his credit card a lot, which leads to a vicious cycle. I love him, I do. He puts his weight around the house and he takes care of the cooking and cleaning for the most part, since it apparently relaxes him. So it's unfair to say he doesn't contribute because he does, but I am definitely feeling like this is not the kind of relationship I want to be in. I feel like I have to mother him a lot to make sure he claims his work expenses, updates our bills tracking app, pays me back, sends me money for rent, etc. I also feel like he's taking the piss sometimes because what do you mean that you don't have money but keep inviting me to go on expensive holidays? It's unlikely that he's going to have a huge increase in pay, so I can't see his situation changing by a pay injection. His car payments will be ongoing until the next 2 years. He can't stop having a car since it's required for his job. I can't see how he'll be able to get out of this vicious credit cycle unless he gets help from his parents or I pay his credit for him, which I don't want to do. By the way, I want you, but there's a little bit left. I also feel bad because he moved into my city, so if I left him, it'll be so expensive for him to afford rent on his own. He's an adult. He can get a roommate. I don't want to leave him, and I feel bad for having those thoughts even come into my mind, but I just don't like the situation we're in. Between the two of us, I'm also likely to have more big pay raises in the next 3 years since I'm in the middle of getting my qualifications. I feel like I'll just end up having to support him financially because I would be able to and he doesn't ask help from anyone else. But it feels like an imposed responsibility on me and I resent it. And there are